So they came here to buy textiles, and the margin that they made in textiles was so high that even if half a dozen ships were taken by pirates, half a dozen ships went down into the sea, they still made a huge profit. Started when the European powers started fighting amongst themselves to control the looms. Who controlled the Indian textile market? So a lot of shipwrecks, they had to come by a boat for 2 kilometers and had to be carried into the beach. A lot of us imagine that elephants were exported from India. No. Imported in India. They were actually imported in India from Peru and Thailand. There are hundreds of shipwrecks outside Madras. But people have been talking about treasure landed ships, perhaps with some better technology, sonar or something, they get these ships. The first mad thing that happened in Madras. Why put up a port city in such a crazy place where you can't even land? In Santo. So he wanted to build a port close to where he could go and visit his girlfriend, White House. There are two problems that the English faced in Madras. One was the language, the other was the heat. A man who knows two languages is called a Gobaj, he became a Dubaj. So a person who was well versed in Telugu and could learn English, a person who was well versed in Tamil and could learn English, he became the Dubaj. He becomes all powerful when both parties are not willing to learn the other language. All powerful, especially in a place where commerce is connected. So if the Englishman tells the Dubaj, ask the native to pay 5 rupees, he would turn to the native and say, Dora on Argo. So that 1 rupee goes into support. So they became filthy rich. The Vijayanagar and the Pandyas. One tower is built by a Dubaj. They were so rich, so many institutions, they built so many temples within Madras. They became all powerful. When the newer origin. Last building is the only one is the sea gate. So English students who were the future civil servants used to study under Indian teachers. And once a year, the governor of Madras used to stay in Rajaji Hall, used to take the boat, come and build the diplomas. And the building is from the, actually now it's called the DPA complex, the corner building on college. And then the heat, of course. The second major problem that they faced was the heat. So the Panga was also invented. They would do it nodding in sleep, or some of them even had it tied to the toes. And while he was lying down, just pushed the toes. This went on till the fan was invented. Fan not run by electricity, run by kerosene. That's for the lamps and other things, but he has a big place. What does he have to do the pump? His mother was born in Kodanur in Coimbatore. His grandfather worked in Madras for St. George, a bridge builder. Pondy was his name. So when this panka was being pulled, it used to make a noise because it was not lubricated. It's a mad idea to bring ice from Massachusetts, crossing the equator twice, storing it in Madras and selling it for 6 months. But we have a guy, Tudor, who was actually put in an insane asylum in Boston. He came from a very rich family, the Boston Brahmin family. It was free, ice was free, lots of ships coming into America were going back empty. The Battle of Adayar, October 24, 1746. So Battle of Adayar is a very unequal battle. I tell you the background. Madras has been taken by the French, and the French are wanting to reinforce the fort, are sending 300 sepoys. Only 300 sepoys from Pondicherry. So the exact location, the Adayar did not join where exactly now it's joined. It was joining the sea closer to foreshore escape. So on one side they have 300 sepoys trying to get into Fort St. George. On the other side they have 10,000 soldiers. 10,000 soldiers from the Nawab army. Also, so the 300 soldiers marched in a formation and entered the Adayar river, shooting their muskets. And 10,000 people get terrified. They turn around and run. It's a rabble. They have not been organized in an chat GPT because we don't have any existing. So Anvaruddin runs up to Kutartu and he lost. What exactly happens? And of course when Madras came back to the British in the treaty, this is the first proper lighthouse at Madras. Which is growing, it's booming economically. And once you have money, what do you want? You want a royal status? That is what somebody tries. So this is Raja Annamalai Chettiar, son of a moneylender, who used to call, they used to call themselves banker. Madras, they only 400 to 500 cars in Madras, 300 used to come for the party. The island was almost this. You can't avoid doing good hours. So at one point, a lot of matters in Madras is related to the music academy. So music academy at one point says don't tackle songs. If I tell him today outside, I'll be lynched on the road. But in 1930s and 40s, the music industry says only Telugu songs, only Sanskrit songs, no Tamil songs. No, it's not a musical quality. In one of their articles in the magazine, they even call Tamil a Vyadi. They call Tamil a disease. Talking to the government, they should stay not getting their conference, but memory is small. But the point is, when Tamil songs are not allowed to be sung in music academy, there is a just people stand up in disapproval and protest. And as a Tamil Mandram, with of course great support from Rajaji, M.S. Subbulakshmi, and the best singers of Tamil songs, N.K. Tyagaraja Bhagavathar, Nandavani Desika, K.V. Sundarabhat, they all cooperate and the Tamil movement is started because of the pretender Raja. When we are talking about a common man wanting to become a Raja wanting to become a common man. Out of in madness, you have both ways, right? Swati Tirunal, from the same, the Travancore Empire, of course, he lived in the 1800s. They were named after the star they were born, so he was named in that way. So in 1940, suddenly, songs supposed to have been written by him start appearing in magazines. They will celebrate his birthdays. They call the queens of Travancore to preside over the functions in music academy. So they, along with the three musical, the Trinity, Swati Tirunal's photo is also, picture painting is also on. So they're trying to make him a composer. And you go to buy your silk sarees in Diwali was once a huge thing. So, which sort of a city would close its largest lake? We should talk about Bharatanatyam. So today Bharatanatyam has become iconic of Chennai, the dance of Chennai. So in the 1940s, there was no Bharatanatyam. To whom it was a traditional art. But they both come to this in a different way. One is Krishna Iyer. So what happens? Women are not allowed to act in theatre. They catch out a feminine looking guy called Krishna Iyer, dress him up like a female and take him to the heroine roles. It's called the three part. We have the Raja part, the three part, the Kalla part, the villain, and Bala part, the children. Right? So Krishna Iyer gets really interested in doing the job properly. So he wants to learn the dance steps. So he goes to Mayapur Gauri Amma, the last holds the last knowledge of the Savirata, from which Bharatanatyam came, and learns from them. Asks Rukmini Devi to attend one of the dance programs in music academy. And that is when they think that this dance can be revived in a much more sanitized way. So Rukmini Devi removes a lot of these erotic items from this dance. She brings in a lot of mythological stories, puts the musical band on the stage, puts an Ataja there and lights a lamp. So suddenly this dance from Sadharatam. Sadharatam in the sense that the Devdasis used to dance before the temple chariot. And the men and the women of the house used to close the windows lest that their husbands see them and get tempted. Within 10 years, it becomes everybody was dragging their daughters to the dance class. So much was the reformation. Everybody was dragging their daughters and granddaughters to the newly propped up music dance classes all over Chennai. How big is it? How big is it? The initial dance was done only in the society, but after the death of her husband, she was struck down and she comes and starts Karate. They had the money to buy the land, but they didn't have the money to build the Kalashatra huts rather. And so the girls used to actually dance in the Pamak Swamigal, the Samadhi days. So this is Gauri Amma. Gauri Amma had the last information, the techniques of Bharatanatyam, which she passed on a lot of dances, not only Rukmini, even Indrani Rahman. Indrani Rahman, for that matter, her mother is pregnant, an American, who imagines that she was an Indian in the previous birth, and that she should learn dance. So she's coming to Madras Zoo, at least the carnivore section was shot. Something like 5 tigers, 10 lions, everything was shot. Why were they shot? Because if an enemy bomb fell on the zoo, it would release hungry animals into the zoo. Then the zoo was next to your central station where you are looking from. Italy was really bad in Madras because of the food scarcity. That is refugees who came to Madras in 1947 after the partition. So they brought in a lot of meat dishes. So today, if you go to a hotel, you are tea or you are we are talking about radios. Every household used to have a radio. More radios used to be in public space. So if you wanted to listen to music on radio, you have to go to the beach and or the park